Go. What's up? This is Ben from ShouldIGetIt.com. This is my friend's 2017 Mercedes-Benz SLC 300, and this is a race chip. So I've seen ads for race chips and I've heard of them for years now, and we want to see if it actually makes this car not only feel faster, but actually objectively faster. This is a Racechip GTS Black. It's the top of the line race chip. I'll have the link to them down below, but today we are at OC Customs in San Jose, California. We're gonna have Oscar install this on the car, so we'll talk about the installation process a little bit. And then we also got our hands on a Dragy, so we're gonna do some 0 to 60 times, some 0 to 40, and 20 to 60 to see if the car is actually faster with the tune turned on or off. So this is made in Germany and shipped over. It also has Bluetooth control, which is really nice. So we're gonna be able to control how much more power the race chip actually adds to the car. And the installation, race chip themselves told me is pretty difficult, which is why we're here at Oscar's shop. And the actual race chip is just this unit here, which plugs into a couple different connectors under the hood, which Oscar is gonna take care of. We'll get more into the details on the actual tune and how much power it gives you. We'll also tell you how much faster the 0 to 60 time actually is. So let's get into the video. Oscar, who is the owner of OC Customs, did the installation for us, and it took him about 2 hours. For other cars, the race chip, he said, is easier to install, but the Mercedes platform is a little bit difficult because of where the sensors are located. So the race chip needs to be plugged into 2 spots. One is the turbo boost pressure sensor, which is relatively easy to get to and takes maybe about 10 minutes to connect. But the second part is the intake manifold pressure sensor, and for that you need to remove the air intake, the turbo inlet pipe, the intercooler, the throttle body, and the ECU. So you have to remove all that just to get to one plug that's under the intercooler and then plug in this cable, which you can see is located in a really tricky spot below the throttle body, below the intercooler. So it is quite a headache to get to that spot, and that's why this installation should be done by a professional. And I was very happy that I wasn't doing it. I've done the JB4 install, I did the JB Plus install. Cob access port is super easy. Race chip, not that easy on the Mercedes platform, but any shop that specializes in tuning or installing aftermarket parts should be able to do it pretty easily. So now, after about 2 hours, Oscar has gotten the race chip installed, and as you can see, you actually can't see anything. So it looks very clean, pretty much stock. The race chip is actually tucked away right here in the corner, and they do provide zip ties so you can mount it in the car. Zip ties honestly don't look that great, so Oscar actually drilled in the mounts, so it just tucks right here. It looks great. It connected to the phone via the app. It took a little bit longer than we expected on the install because the throttle body is kind of delicate to work with, and then also the one plug underneath it is a real pain to get to, and you guys saw that close up. And now we're gonna go out and drive it for who knows how many miles and see if we can feel a difference. Then we're gonna time the 0 to 60, 0 to 40, and 20 to 60 in eco mode, and then also the race mode, and see what happens with the Racechip Black GTS. All the way to the front. Once we got the race chip set up, we started up the car, and thankfully it started with no check engine lights at all, so everything seemed normal. We were able to connect the race chip via its serial number to the Racechip app on the phone, and the app is very simple and kind of bare bones. You have your 3 different modes that you can switch between. You can also change how intense those modes are, and also set a warm-up timer. So for instance, you can have it set to the car will not turn on the tune, rather the race chip won't turn on the tune, for 10 minutes so that your engine can get up to temperature before it starts applying more boost than stock. Now, in terms of power, the Racechip GTS Black is supposed to provide 40 horsepower, bringing the car up to 281 horse, and also 37 pound-feet of torque, bringing it up to 310 pound-feet of torque. So what we did is we tested 0 to 60 times with a Dragy. If you don't know what Dragy is, it's basically a GPS satellite system similar to a B-Box, which connects to your phone and 10 GPS satellites, and it tracks your 0 to 60 times and accelerations, also your G-force, the slope of the incline that you're on, etc. And this way we were able to test out if the 0 to 60 actually got faster. And what I was curious about wasn't the 0 to 60, but rather the 20 to 60. And you know, if you were in Mexico, your 20 to 80 or 20 to 100 mile per hour times. What was interesting is that the boost didn't really kick in from the race chip until 200 miles in. So we did 50 miles on the car right after the install, and we kept it in the regular and eco mode. When we put it in eco, we could feel the power was a little bit lower, and in the regular mode, it felt decent, but not much quicker, if at all, than stock. Then about 5 or 6 days later, my friend who owns this SLC 300 called me on the phone. He said, "Ben, I totally get it. I completely feel it. It just kicked in and it's woken up the car." And in essence, it took about 200 miles for the Racechip and the car to calibrate together, but then the boost started hitting much harder and the pull of the car started to feel more intense from what he explained to me. Now, the thing is, we tested with the Dragy after those 200 miles as well, and the 0 to 60 times weren't significantly faster. We actually had some similar times on the day of the install that we did about a week after, and the most interesting part was that the tune didn't have much to do with 0 to 60 time because the tires just couldn't put the power down. Go. Depending on the slope, if you had a higher slope, you actually had more resistance on the tires, and the 0 to 60 would be faster because you could get more grip. In other cases, the 0 to 60 would be bogged down by a launch that ended up in wheel spin, but the car does feel faster by the butt dyno, but the actual objective time shows 0 to 60 that's within about half a second, depending on the slope, and that's just kind of a variable that can happen all the time, so I wouldn't say the Racechip made the car much faster from 0 to 60. However, if you take a look at the data, and I'll include the spreadsheet that I created in the description below, if you take a look at the data, the 20 to 60 time was cut down by almost half a second, which means that if we were going from 20 to 100, that could multiply, and you might get from 20 to 100 in, let's say, 0.6 seconds faster, or maybe even a whole second. So if you were to race side by side on a close track, of course, an SLC 300 that's stock versus an SLC 300 that has a Racechip tune on it, the one with the Racechip tune should start pulling away after the launch. So I'd say from 0 to 20, they'll probably be pretty similar, but from 20 onwards, that's where you're really gonna feel the power, and that's the important part of it, right? I mean, unless you're actually racing and doing 0 to 60 times or drag racing, it doesn't really matter what happens objectively in terms of the 0 to 60 time. That's not a great measure of if a car is fun or not. But in terms of actual feeling and sensation, the car does feel significantly faster and it feels like it pulls harder due to the Racechip being installed. If you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence and you want a faster feeling car, yes, this will make your car feel different. Is the installation easy? No, it's not. And does the app work? Yes, it does. You can change between the various modes. And even in regular mode, if you have the tune on the Racechip, your regular eco mode in the Mercedes will be faster than it was before, but you can still be fairly fuel efficient. And then if you go to Sport Plus and you also put the Racechip into the maximum performance mode, then you will have the most possible power. If you have any questions about the Racechip, feel free to leave them in a comment down below. I'm happy to answer them for you honestly. And just know that this is not my personal car, but I can ask my friend Kostya anytime. So thank you to him for supplying his car for this video. And also, as I mentioned, I've done the JB4 on my Mini Cooper S. I did the JB Plus on the BMW 540i. And I have also done the comp access port on my Volkswagen GTI Mark 6. So I have a little bit of experience with several different tunes, and this is typically what I feel. The numbers don't always make up the whole story. So just keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down, but comment what you think could have made this video better, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.